I have just done a session at the wall. Probably one of the best sessions I've had in quite some time. And I've finished it off with a Tesco shop to stock up the van. So I should have enough for 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners, 2 teas and some chocolate for supper. I was going to go cheese and crackers, but it was easier to pick up chocolate. Odd how that happens, innit? Hobnobs as well. So what I'm going to do is just put all of these away. Picked up some coffee as well, since I'm pretty low on that. Honestly, what I need more than anything is to just fill up the fridge a bit to make it more efficient to run. The batteries are currently at 47%, so I'm going to have to stick this on charge when I get home. Let's fill the fridge up first. Sort the yogurts out later. There. I want my meat there, coffee in there, cream can go in there. Biscuits aren't likely to melt in the temperature we've had lately, so they'll be fine not in the fridge. In fact, I'll put them in with my cup of soups, because where else? Right then, bread. Tell you what, for the time being, you can go over there. I've locked my fridge up and not put the chocolate back in. Well, not back in, because I've not put it in once yet, but you know what I mean. And there we go. That's that sorted. Now I have my own bag for Tesco. It's not very often I use it because it's not very often I remember to take it in with me. However, when you're on the self-service things, they don't have carrier bags there anymore, so why is it? You put this down in an effort to try and be a little more efficient, and then it says you have to wait for assistance so someone can verify the bag. There's no other bag there to use. Stupid. Right then. Almost 6:25. I think the next stop is to get some diesel. And then the stop after that will be home. I think this is the first time I've put diesel in since I went to Llangollen. Or I might have put diesel in when I got back, but either way, it's been a long time. Distance 253.5 miles, I think that's what I last did. We'll zero that. Shut up. Average miles an hour's gone, currently 5 degrees. 253.6 miles, that's what I did last time, okay. I can't tell you how many miles per gallon I use since I last filled up because that's gone. I'm going to get out of here. I've plugged into the mains now that I'm home, so it should be charging. Problem is, it's been so long since I've done this. In fact, it would have been last winter. I can't remember whether it's supposed to say in-app whether it's charging or not. And I'm not going fast enough with the instructions here, so I'll look online in a little bit just to make sure. But I think that should be charging now. So the last thing to do in here, put some milk in my protein shaker, then back in the house and get the protein powder and creatine in. That's not quite enough. I'm going to open the other one. Typical. There we go. And I've not put a bag in my bin in here either. So we'll just stick that in there. Right, that's that all done. Go stick the powder in here, mix it up, get a shower. No, do my push-ups I still got to do yet, then get a shower. And check that the symbol that on here is actually the one that says it's charging. Should be. There's no error code, so I'm taking it as okay. Oh, I've not put the milk back in. Why am I in this family? With this flaming memory. Is that it? That everything? Yes, good, right. Tomorrow in here then, fill up the water tank, set the toilet up. Cool. Right. In that case, I'll pick you back up tomorrow. Well, here we are, Friday afternoon. Yeah, I've had a change of plans. I'm not going to go away this weekend after all. Largely because the weather's just not going to be up for it. The rain wouldn't bother me so much, but being January, it's not going to be dark early. But this wind we've been having all week, it's been quite a strong wind and a very bitter wind. The temperature this week has been 6 to 8 degrees in the middle of the day, and this wind's just been making it feel about -2 or 3. The good news is the van batteries are all charged. The food I got in the fridge should last a week, most of it. Probably not the chocolate, that might not last a week for some unknown reason. But the rest of it will be fine, the meats and stuff. I might even use it throughout the week if I do longer sessions at the wall in the evening. So it'll be used either way. What I'm going to do instead is start thinking about more the long term, just prepping for travel season. All 4 tyres are going to need checking for tyre pressure anyway. Because again, they've probably not been checked since I went to Llangollen. So they'll need a look at. Again, if I did go out in this lighting, I'm fine to a point. But sitting and reading I can't do in this lighting because it casts a shadow under there. So I think this weekend I'm going to start looking at a reading light for in the cab area. Possibly changing some things like here. I was thinking about maybe getting like those hanging shelf wardrobe things you can get. I'm not sure if you can get them small enough for this. And then move the wardrobe out of that cupboard into here, because this can only have about 30 kilograms on anyway. And if it's a suspended wardrobe, or part suspended, that'll take off some of the weight, and it's not like I have many clothes anyway. If I can't find some small enough to fit, sure Mum could make me some. Now, I'll have a think about that. The reading light is something I would like to get done. I'm probably not going to bother with LED strips in here. What I have thought about the lighting in here is I could potentially switch out these puck lights. Because I like them. In person they are fine. The issue is with this. Like right now everything should look fine, but that's because I have set the colour balance, the white balance, down to 3500 Kelvin. So if I were to step from this to outdoors, you would probably see everything's suddenly gone very blue. So what I could do is replace these puck lights with hot white lights rather than these more orangey yellow ones. Not all of them, just these front 4 in the main area. To be honest, I don't think it's worth it. Just a thought that popped in my head this week. Because I don't know honestly where I'd fit LED strips. My initial thinking was under the cupboards and stuff, and under there, and along there. But then I've got to run the wires through for all of that, hook it all up. Someday maybe, but it's not a priority. Reading light, under the bed light, I need to do that. In fact, I've got some of these puck lights because I bought a set before these and then ended up getting these because these ones are dimmable. But I do have another setting, so I can maybe look into putting a couple of them down under the bed. That'll be alright. And then the other thing I want to do is finally get and sort this out down here. I was thinking I could maybe shift the pantry out of these boxes above the cab. Put those 2 tubs back down there and make a little rack or something to hold them. That will then let me have room up there to potentially do the hanging wardrobe thing. I need to get my books out of here because this shelf is sturdy enough. But I can tell it started slanting down a bit again. So that'd be better. I could maybe get some of it over into the overhead cab unit, or maybe even into here. That's... Ooh, that didn't stay up. Because that's kind of my wardrobe at the minute. But that's a much sturdier shelf, so I can maybe keep books in there or something. I think that's all I've got at the minute. This week's tasks are pretty much done. I mean, I haven't put any fresh water in the tank in here yet or seen to the toilet, but since I'm not going away this weekend now, that doesn't really matter. I think this weekend's going to be starting to sort out the little projects I want to do in here. Something else I got that arrived this morning is a suction cup to mount this action camera to. So I'm thinking I could put it in... Oops. I could put it in the cab window and then give you a view. I'm not going to do it here because you'll see the street where I live, and I don't particularly want to do that. But I can mount that in the cab on the side window or something and have a driving perspective view, which could be interesting for some videos. So I'm looking forward to testing that out. Could also do some shots, mount this on the outside. Obviously not like bombing down the M6 or anything like that, but a couple of little country lane bits that could work out quite nicely. I should probably also have a look at what gas I've got in here. Should still have plenty. Oh, that bread will need using as well during the week. Alright, one last thing to note then is the audio levels. I've been shooting with the microphone gain on -3 to try and avoid clipping, but I think that might have been a little bit overkill. So I've currently got it set to +2, so I'll see what that comes out like. But a lot of the time I do have to boost the audio volume, or, you know, audio or volume, whichever one you want to call it. Audio volume's a bit redundant, but I do frequently have to boost it in post to get the level sounding right. But I think it could still be quite a bit better, so that's something to play with. I could put a dividing wall, maybe maybe not halfway, or maybe I could. Along, you can't see anything there. Oh, wait. So maybe along that beam there, if I put a piece of wood that comes down to the floor, use that as a divider. Turn my climbing mat so it goes across the back. I know it'll go that way. And what do I really need back there? The climbing mat, my chocks, my power cable, my actual climbing bag. Could go on either side, to be honest. That's an idea that might be worth a little exploration, is just splitting this in half. Right, I'm going to think about that for a couple of days. Hopefully tomorrow there's a couple of hours of not rain so I can check my tyres, and then sort out under the bed here, tidy it up, empty stuff out, play around, see what I've got space wise. Because one thing I don't have in here that could be useful is if I am out in the rain and then I come back in, I don't really have anywhere to put like wet coats or anything that could dry out. But since I've got this plastic flooring mat stuff down under the bed, if I did close that off, I could maybe hang wardrobe thing. Oh, or I could put the wardrobe stuff under there. Then what would I do up? I could leave that, I suppose. Yeah, right. I'm going to leave this one here, because this will probably turn into another ramble. Batteries are charged. That's up. Done. Right. Cool. In that case, I shall vlog something over the weekend. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure you'll be filled with anticipation for finding out next week. So if it's still the weekend by the time this comes out, have a good weekend. Otherwise, have a good week.